Okay, this is Jake with the
Crippled system.
Crippled system.
Battle
I totally
report.
spaced on that. I'm so sorry.
Crippled startup.
Wow, that was like a real moment for me. I'm sorry.
Oh,
everybody.
we're already going.
Yeah, we're moving. Alrighty, so I've got the first turn here.
You better introduce yourself,
Yeah,
Jeff.
sorry, I'm Jeff. I'm playing the Trollbloods. Look at him go. All right, you'll notice this is my terrifying Skinner and King formation. There's a reason for that. Those are Skinners, and that's on purpose.
Who are you playing, Jeff?
I am playing Madrak1. It's a little hard to see him in that crowd of guys, but he's hiding behind the Impaler there. And that's actually the Impaler running up right now going, I'm an Impaler.
All right, so, what did you think about this matchup?
Actually, it was really weird because Prime Madrak, I'm going up against the Harbinger, and Prime Madrak doesn't normally like it because of purification, but at the same point in time, a lot of the stuff that was brought doesn't like what I have on the table. I have access to fire immunity. I've got some fairly tough stuff out on the table, so the feed is a little bit more mitigated. So, like, it was not a good matchup for either side, which actually meant it was an okay matchup for both sides.
Yeah, it actually turned out to be okay. As we can see here, he's just running everything. So while he's doing that, I'll just go over my list here really quick. This is Jeremy. I'm playing Protectorate. There you go, Andy. I said the Protectorate. I'm playing the Harbinger with Hierophant and Devout. I have Bastion Seneschal with double Bastions, Errant Seneschal with Errants and UA, Dartman Vilmon, and 2 Paladins, Covenant of Menoth, Madeline Corbeau, Rupert, the Book, and Visigoth Roven and Honor Guard. So that's my list. Pretty much, I'm looking at jamming, but I think that's what he's also looking to do also.
Yeah, so what I've got in my list is I've got the 2 Skinners, I've got a Glacier King in this one. It's a variant from what I normally run. That's normally actually a Mountain King, but I've got 5 Whelps in there, and you've got 2 trailing at the Glacier King right now. Min Krellstone, a UA, Madrak, an Impaler, a Bouncer, a full unit of Warders. I've got Horgol, with a Pyre Troll, and then there's a Sorcerer that's dancing with the Warders.
So this is Warders after the nerf?
No, this is Warders before the nerf.
Yeah,
But-
like before anyone started bitching about him.
Yeah. But yeah, like right now it's the first turn. Everything runs up. Even though purification's around, I still went ahead and used the there's a Rune Bear in there. The Rune Bear went ahead and dropped Surefoot up on the Glacier King. And that little debate right there is what happened is Jeremy wanted to shoot my Skinner, but because he's so close to that Glacier King, it had Prowl. So
Which means it had stealth, which means I can't see it, so no good for me. So, I mean, we just saw I ran the Errants up, ran both my Bastions up, and now just moving the Paladins up and doing Impervious Wall on them. And then there went the Bastion Seneschal, where he's going to stay nicely neat in between both the groups so they can heal.
What's the book doing?
The book's doing no knockdown at this point.
Getting the Harvey errant ball of hate going?
Yeah, Harvey just went and moved up and feeded, and I'm trying to remember what I just paid 3 for. Oh,
You
purification.
purified. Yep.
Purification.
yeah, that's a thing. Like I said, Madrak's not fond of it, but if I didn't cast the spell, you wouldn't have to cast Purify, so
Right.
you kind of have to play against that. And like that's actually some interesting tech with Purification is that sometimes you have to cast spells to make them want to cast Purify.
Well, especially against like Harvey, because I went and forgot to do the Hierophant first, so instead of it costing me, 2, it ended up costing me 3, which means I'm only sitting on 7. So
Yeah, and anything that gets that Harbinger to have less fury on it is better. Or not fury, focus on it is always better. Especially in a list like this one that's packing a handful of guns. Because with that Impaler, that Glacier King can start firing out at 16 inches, and no one really wants to risk that.
yeah.
So what's your plan on this feat turn?
Well, my plan on this feat turn is actually try to ignore as much of the feat as I can. I only have a handful of single wound models, and the ones that aren't single wound are usually pretty resilient. So that Pyre Troll is going to go up and start throwing its Animus on a couple of models, as well as Horgol. Why do I keep doing that? Horgol.
I forgot the name of the show at the beginning. You're fine.
I think that's the most important part there.
Yeah. And then since both the Pyre Troll and Horgol are fire immune already, they don't have to worry about it either. So
are you going to move your Warders up?
Oh, yeah. So basically everything rolls forward that's not the Krellstone. See, there's the Pirate Troll right there going. He puts his Animus on the Impaler. And then I screw up something here. Horgle goes up, puts his Animus on Madrak. And then watch this brilliant play here. Is that I believe I move it right next. I don't want to give any spoilers away.
Yeah. One thing, since neither one of us has played Death Clock in forever, we set up off the clock. So you'll notice we all have a little bit of extra time there.
Yep. Yeah. But it puts, we're still on equal footing. So I don't think I was took a long time with the Death Clock.
No.
But yeah, so I move my Impaler up and brilliantly immediately cast Far Shot on Madrak with it. So then when Madrak decides to go, he starts eating some damage and what have you. That's just the Impaler throwing a spear, because that's what they do.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, Rupert went up and put Tough on him, of course.
Yep.
Heroic call.
Yep. So here I go. I realize my mistake, and then Madrak eats a Power 14 Fire Roll because I'm an idiot. But, I'm Trollbloods, so I can survive something like that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that wasn't a huge roll.
Did that even crack his armor?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's actually only armor 16.
Yeah, so it did like 3, so.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm so used to seeing him at, the 18, 19 armor.
Well, Power 14 is nothing to scoff at. Like, it can get through a lot. Like, here's a move that I pull, figuring, okay, I should be fine, and then I get hurt more than I was expecting. So, here I've got Madrak throwing the axe around, and in theory, dramatic roll. No? Did I get that off camera? Really?
Oh, there it is.
There it is, right up there.
Hits an errant. Errant can't survive a POW 15. Or no.
Or you went after the Bastion, didn't you?
I did go after the Bastion. I was getting greedy.
Oh, here, let me just spread that around.
Yep. Well, because what I was actually kind of hoping is to sneak a crit Grievous in there.
Yeah.
Because then what happens is then if some other Bastion gets hurt, you can't spread that around, so to speak. Because I think you heal the Bastion when you do that. I'm trying to think here. What else ended up doing the turn? Oh, yeah, this. Yeah. So the Skinner rolls up here figuring, okay, 8 boxes, armor 14, not going to die, except that's exactly what you need to kill him. So he just bursts into flame and drops. Yep. So I don't know why I moved him after all that. Oh, tough check.
Yeah.
And in classic fashion, failed it.
I mean, first rule of Trollbloods is don't count on tough for shit.
So just did a couple points, 5 on him or whatnot.
But that's not the point. Is that Skinner is not there to do damage. The Skinner is there to be a medium base in the way of my big dude.
Yeah.
And a hard to remove one at that. Because it doesn't work well against the Harbinger, but those 2 Skinners and Sure-Footed King puts those Skinners at defense 15 against just about anything. And with the Glacier King in specific, it's dropping concealment, so they've got Prowl. So now they're defense 15 with stealth 8 boxes. And
look at that
14.
big roll against the Glacier King for no damage.
Yeah.
So which errants are in your martyr bubble?
You would realize that a lot of them are, and then you would also realize that I completely have been forgetting about Martyrdom.
Yeah, I was wondering what you're I'm like, oh, it must be an angle from the camera.
No, I've been forgetting about Martyrdom, and also Awe.
Yeah, that got forgot a lot through the game, unfortunately. I never remember it either.
I always tend to take a caster that I've only played maybe a handful of times on these battle reports, and then forget half their rules because I haven't played them enough. So it's just like, okay, that's where you went and hit him with the
Yep. So, and we realized the mistake here is he shield guards him. So then we okay, well, he got hit instead. So the wrong model got shoved around.
Yeah.
So we fixed that up.
What model? What do you have as a shield guard in the list?
The Devout.
Yeah, there's a Devout sneaking around almost directly behind the Harbinger.
Yeah, I couldn't see anything at all, so I was curious on what was shield guarding for him.
Yeah, the Devout is pretty much sitting right there by Harbinger because each round I've given one focus to give Harbinger spell barrier and stuff.
Well, and you can't afford not to have the shield guard nearby with that Glacier King just sitting right there.
Yeah,
because he will at a drop of a hat put 3 shots into her if she's sitting there naked.
Yeah.
So I threw out a handful of shots. Accuracy on that Glacier King wasn't so hot, so I missed a handful of them and got some fairly mediocre damage in there. I think I took that Bastion Seneschal down to 2 health or something like that.
Yeah. I think you left it at 1. You did 7 damage exactly.
Yeah. So
because I was very happy because I would not have martyred it because I totally forgot about that.
Well, even then, I would have been happy with accepting a martyr because now I've got a juicy target I want dead that's easy to hit that I can keep plugging. So you're either going to martyr it forever or I'm going to kill it.
Yep.
Do you know what you just moved behind the?
Oh,
house there?
that's the bouncer. Yeah.
Okay.
So the bouncer, you can't see through that building there, but the bouncer actually just ran up to charge. I think like a single errant or something like that. And the entire point
powerful damage roll there, by the way.
Oh yeah, the entire point of that bouncer was just to get him into the zone and up and engaged. So he's like almost literally perfectly out of line of sight with that house there, but he's towing the zone and then he's being a Trollblood bouncer, so fairly tough and hardy.
Yeah.
And these are your warders.
Yep, the warders. So what happens is I actually roll 2 of them up into the zone there, and they take their fire damage rolls. And I believe the rest of them, after I take the damage, I kind of figure out where the control area is, and I park them outside, or they don't move. I forget which I did.
I don't think you move. I think you moved the 2 up just to contest the zone.
Yep.
And right now you're just looking for actually the warder's card.
Yeah,
so.
because
The height of excitement on
like a true pro, I managed to forget to bring a card out.
So here's a question I've actually been asked a couple times: does this trigger battle driven?
No, they were not damaged by an enemy attack.
All right.
In no way did he hurt me. Well, with an attack. Yeah. they did it to themselves, and it's their own damn fault.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't trigger battle hardened, and it didn't really come up because I think you brutally murder that one that's over there. But yeah, it's very hard to find a way of triggering battle hardened on your own turn outside of provoking a free strike.
I think that was your turn.
Yeah, that was basically it. Because everything else, like those whelps and the Krellstone Barrier, I wasn't going to march those single wound troopers into that control area and just have them die. And the stone was far enough up; it could still affect a handful of things. So,
yeah.
Do you have any plans for this turn? Are you just going to yell?
Really, this turn it was more of trying to see how much damage I could go. See if I could go and take out the warders over there. I get a couple charges off. I was really hoping to get enough in there to really take them out and then do some stuff to the bouncer, really to try and get that zone, because I also have some bastions over there too that we're hoping to do some stuff. But really it's just trying to jam up as much as possible and, get as much stuff in his face so he could, especially so he couldn't like move that Glacier King up farther and stuff like that, just because I was really worried about that thing.
Well, yeah, if that crawls its way up to the board to melee range at anything beefy, then it's trouble.
Do you have a plan for the Glacier King besides just hoping to hold on to it?
Lots of Weapon Master hits into him.
Yeah, I think that was it. Is murder it with Weapon Master?
Yeah.
So here he's going to the. Oh, that's right. You missed one of the warders.
Yeah, I missed the very top one, and I rolled like Snake Eyes there, and
and the other one I think takes a beating and dies.
Yep.
Yeah. But bottom line, I still got the bouncer and one warder there to contest the zone, so I'm not in a bad spot scenario wise, and losing a warder is not
doing
the
my
end of it.
quick work shot and
Yep. Oh yeah, me explaining that now that their armor monstrous.
Yeah.
There are 21s down.
Yeah, because one did finally get hurt when it got killed.
Yeah.
And that triggered battle hardened, and then those guys are obviously in stone range there. So a little bit of nickel and diming in there, and now I think
I did okay damage on the bouncer there, but
no. Well, I mean, okay damage, nothing. You almost murdered it to death, I think, because you get a couple bastion charges in on it or something like that. Something tags it really hard. I guess we'll see soon.
Well, not enough though. Not enough to
not
enough to kill it, which is unfortunate because that just means you have a healthy beast.
Yeah, well, and that's always the catch, especially with Prime Madrak, is any of those beasts with reach can become very, very dangerous very quickly.
Oh, now we got to start seeing some people just standing off at each other, just looking at each other.
Well, you go in after the Skinner with that was the character, right?
Skinner
Tufts
the Seneschal and Tufts, yeah.
Yep. So Skinner's on his butt. Now, normally that same scenario without purification, he's got Surefoot, so he still stands on his feet. And that spot, he's still hard to remove. He's just standing right in front of my big charge target. Yep. Here's where it goes in. I think you get like 3 or 4 bastions in on that bouncer.
I think I only get 2. I think, or
oh, that's right.
I only get 2.
Yeah, the rest of them you crowd in there to try to control the zone.
Yep.
Oh no, you got 3 in there. Yep.
I wish I could see behind that house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of action happens behind that house, and you just can't
Yeah.
see it.
All you need to know is there's a single bouncer there with a whole bunch of friends. But yeah, so for the future, we'll probably want to make sure we don't have houses in the middle of the table.
Yeah,
So long term, is your plan to try and control the top zone here and dominate and win through scenario?
yeah. I definitely was trying to play for scenario play here. Like I'm just moving my paladins up and doing impervious wall with them, pretty much using the errants and the bastions to clear it, and then making sure he's in the back just hanging out. Because I at this point I'm like I have a good shot. I feel of taking that top zone.
Yeah, well, because
I know you're going to be moving the warders in there and stuff, but I really feel like I have enough, weapon masters stuff in there that I have a good shot of clearing the zone potentially on the next turn or whatnot.
Well, yeah, four bastions, a handful of errants, and a paladin are pretty hard to remove.
Yeah.
And especially with warders, even before the errata when they had weapon master, they still only have at this point 4 attacks because there's only 4 dudes left. So.
Yeah.
No matter what I do, I'm not going to be able to remove all the bastions, and those have enough oomph to kill warders pretty handily.
Yeah, so that second unit of bastion just sort of, I ran them. I had to get them up there, but they
were a little
couldn't
too
really
far
do
away
enough.
to charge much.
Yeah, I think at this point I probably would have did Harvey first and then did Crusader's Call and would have got them like extra 2 inches on the charge
and then
range.
you
I
could
probably
have
could have got
gotten a
some
couple
charges in.
Yeah,
But
so
not thinking.
here's where he's pelting the bouncer, and there's some mediocre damage rolls in there.
Yeah.
So the bouncer's alive. He's a little banged up, but not dead is usually the order of the day for those.
Oh, because what I got in there for my third one is I got Gaius or.
Oh, that's
whatever
right. You
one.
got one of the.
I got one of them in on him,
Yeah.
but still not enough to actually kill him.
Yeah, I mean, armor 19 is a lot to chew through, especially when you only get like 2 or 3 charges in there.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's mangled, but like I said, with the beast, if it's not dead, it's good.
Right.
Yeah. That is like one of the really big benefits beasts have over Jax is that just losing aspects for one turn.
Yeah.
That Harbinger goes and does her thing, and
Yeah, she's up there behind the wall a little bit just to get that little bit of extra protection. So.
yeah.
How much focus does she have on her?
At this point, I see.
I don't think you did too much because
there's 3 more down there. I don't remember what I actually 4. So she's sitting on 6.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I purified again or what I did. I don't remember.
You might have purified again to remove all my animi.
That might have been.
Because I know that I never cast Surefoot again in this game. Spoilers. A Fury 5 caster doesn't have the oomph to do that so often.
Yeah. So what's your plan for the turn?
My plan for this turn is actually this is a feat turn. I've got a whole pile of guys surrounding my Reach War Beast, and I believe this round on the book you'd popped no knockdown.
Yeah. Yep. I popped no not. I did no spells this turn.
Yep.
I did
so
no
that's
spells.
actually me checking my control range, so I can go. Okay, I need to have Carnage up for this round.
Yeah.
So I go, okay, where is it? I triangulate a little bit so I can get Magic to scoot out and Carnage and Feet. Then past that, it's to see where I can get the damage done.
Yeah.
So obviously the plan is to kill as much of that top piece as I can, and the bottom is a stall game. It's beat up what infantry I can on Jeremy's side so that he can't retaliate hard enough to kill that Glacier King without committing his Jack or his caster.
Yeah.
Because at this point in time, the Glacier King won't be able to clear that zone on its own.
And then up top, what are you're just gonna try and move the warders in and kill everything?
Actually, no. There's that big cluster of dudes right in there. So what actually happens is Horgle here casts Hot Shot on that Pyre Troll, and that Pyre Troll is going to wander up, and I think that's what I'm doing right now. No, we haven't gotten the template. What do you do there?
You did something I had to tough. Oh, that guy. Oh,
yeah, that was Madrak throwing his axe, I think, or the Impaler taking a stab.
The Impaler.
Yeah, it was a throwaway move just because I had to do something with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is where Horgel moves up and he casts Hot Shot on the Pirate Troll again to get that back up. And for those of you who don't know what Hot Shot is it's all ranged attack damage rolls are automatically boosted.
Yeah.
And so that Pirate Troll wanders up and boosts a shot at that low defense bastion. It may be in melee, but a defense 15 is still hittable on a boost.
Yeah, definitely.
And even on a scatter, I can hit a pretty healthy crowd of people there.
So
I hit, which means that basically that bastion and I think it was like 4 or 5 other dudes get caught in that blast.
You went and hit like 4 or 5 other ones.
Does your bouncer get hit in that?
Nope. It was clear. It's only a 3-inch AoE. Oh. And if I had my head where my dice were, I would have had the Pirate Troll use his animus on the bouncer first. So if I would have accidentally clipped my bouncer, it wouldn't have gotten hurt anyways.
Yeah. So that seems like a really strong play up there.
Yeah, so what you'll see here is that with all those boosts, I think the Bastion gets hit, has to spread a lot of damage. And I roast like an errant, and I put some damage onto one dude, and they're all on fire.
Yeah.
So there's just some really heavy damage that goes into that crowd there before I even start bringing in the melee attacks. Then that Pirate Troll goes bonkers and puts his animus on the bouncer just to make certain that those swings are even more potent.
Yeah.
And so I think right after that I go in with the bouncer and start smashing things. And so every one of those dudes I tag...
move up with the warders.
Oh, yeah. So obviously Battle Driven is up, so now they can charge over that wall. But
hit with their mighty Weapon Master attacks.
Honestly, I don't think Weapon Master came up this game at all. Like a charging POW 10 will still kill an errant pretty regularly, with or without Weapon Master. And actually, these are 12s because they've got Battle Driven out.
Yeah,
so, I mean, that's
you
the hit
missed
roll.
that one.
Oh yeah,
you missed
right.
the first one. Yeah,
they were not competent over on that side of the table either way. But yeah, so the dice were good enough where I think even if I would have dropped any one of those 3, that errant wouldn't have survived. Yeah. So and missing, isn't affected by Battle Master.
Yeah.
I realize how much I like to just pick up and put down my dice and just fiddle with the dice. I'm like just over there, just constantly just picking them up and putting them down.
I always fiddled with them and like spin them around.
Yeah. So yeah, here's where like the bouncer starts going in. I'm checking that was me checking my carnage range to make certain that the carnage effect
made it tough.
Yep.
Yeah. How does the feat interact with tough?
It just stops. It stops the chain. Mm-hmm. So what happens is I hit something, I would have killed it. It toughs, it falls down. In this case, it's the bouncer though, so I buy an attack and hit it again and force another tough check.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I usually see like fairly beast intensive lists with Prime Madrak is because of that. Because that same thing happens to like a warder. Is a warder just goes, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is just you starting to wreck face with your
because that one bouncer goes through any errant in his range and kills that character helper guy. I forget his name.
Gaius or Cassian or
and
whatever
then
it is.
Bangs up one of the bastions and runs out of fury before he gets to anything else. But it leaves like the remaining bastions in that area are on fire and heavily wounded.
Yeah. You finally get to see the bouncer's shield though. So
Yep. He's real. I promise. Yeah, and that's just him doing the overtake moves to start getting into better range because he creeps around the corner to start taking ball and chain attacks at other support pieces.
Yeah. Where's Rupert at in here?
Rupert's actually down below. He's hanging out by the wall by the Bastion Seneschal and Harby and stuff. He's by the book. He's hanging with those errants down there.
Yeah, and that was a good place for him because the errants, since they're straddling the house, can kind of spread around and still get tagged by it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can just kind of see all the models going away from just that one bouncer there just doing damage.
That surprised me quite a bit. I was not expecting to lose as many guys over there from this as what actually ended up happening.
Yeah. How much of a priority target is Rupert when you're playing a list like this for you?
Tough is always something you're going to have to deal with, and I didn't have a lot of options to deal with it outside of taking pot shots with the Glacier King, and there were better things for me to go at. So I kind of left Rupert alone and ignored his existence, and if he would have provided an opportunity for me to do horrible things to him, I would have, but he was pretty safe back there, and that's the end of him. Yeah, so that's the bouncer wrapping up, because between Carnage and Flaming Fists, Mat 7, Power, and Strength 15, you can't walk it off.
Yeah.
So Glacier King scoots over here and just checking to make sure I've got control area, and he's in by a hair. And so the Glacier King's starting to go to town on those bastions. And the entire point of this is kill what I can so that fewer can charge them, because it still takes a lot of work to take down a gargantuan, even the squishier ones.
Yeah.
And that was
You will notice that all my bastions over here and stuff are in martyrdom range, and I believe the Glacier King would have been in awe range too, because I have Madeline, which extends my range.
He very likely would have been.
Except for we completely forgot about both those things. So
yeah.
So I think
although that would have hit, but
yeah.
And so the catch always with bastions too is when they're getting hit by something that powerful is, do you spread it or do you eat it?
If they have like one, if they can take enough where it's like 1 or 2 damage to all of them, I typically spread it. But if it's going to be like 15 damage, I'm like, no, you're just taking it all. I'm like, no need to spread that all around unless it's like the last hit, and then they can, with the Seneschal, can heal some. But if they're just going to take 15, 16 damage, I'll be like, okay, you just take it all.
Yeah. So the Glacier King kills those 2 bastions, and I just spent the Fury to put his Animus up.
Yeah.
And once again, it's one of those catch-22s, is it makes them either cast Purify or put up with the Animi.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's 3 less focus for Harby to defend herself with.
Yep. And so then the rest of it is just the support pieces, like moving around.
Yeah.
The one thing I did do terribly this game is my Rune Bearer almost never gets to use any of his abilities because I forget about him.
Mm-hmm.
And
what are you using? What are you playing with this down?
What do you mean?
Are you besides the armor bonus? Are you doing strength?
Against this list? Strength is the only thing I really can do. He didn't. There weren't any continuous effects on the opposing side in this list, and there was almost no stealth, if any, and no incorporeal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel this is a pretty straight up like Protectorate list,
Yeah, so
going in there with weapon masters, I don't have a lot of people that in this case that are going to light stuff on fire, but
and so
a lot of weapon masters.
Yeah, and so its default at that point in time is strength, strictly because if Jeremy feels like he needs to have a brain aneurysm and provoke untold free strikes, then I want the extra +1. Because you didn't have anything that was even capable of an arm lock, so there wasn't even contesting on that.
So what happened with the fire up top?
Someone out.
Yeah,
I think they all went out.
No, a couple left burning. They didn't do any monstrous damage. It was just there. But especially with bastions, any point you can put into that unit is good. And the fire damage, I don't believe, can be spread. So
right. Well, that was a charge target. There I finally take out the bouncer.
Yeah, it was hurt.
Yeah,
but it's as far as I was concerned, that was a more than fair trade.
Yeah, I think you took out 4 or 5 models with it, and
it left the bastions in very, very sore shape and thinned out the errants, and it killed one of the characters out of that 3-man squad.
Oh yeah, here I'm checking. I have all my errants on this side were out of command. Because the leader was on the other side, so that was the only guy that was actually in. The other ones, 2 that are there, I think, or 3 or whatever it was, are out, so they're just having to run, except for the guy that's knocked down. He's just going to sit by that building.
He can play with the Impaler. He'll be fine. Yeah.
So we got a couple of charge targets here, or charges on the warders, but...
Yep. But, I mean, if I recall, you still take care of them relatively handily. They're still warders, and so they can... Yep. And gone.
One,
but that was one that ate some fire damage moving in.
Yeah.
He took quite a bit from that fire spike.
Yep. But the warders are mostly in this list to, if the opportunity comes up, abuse Madrak's feat, and then they're one of the few things that can kind of contest in a list that's so small.
Yeah.
Like my model count is not very large.
Yeah. Do you think even after the nerf, you're going to still use warders with Madrak?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, with a model count that small, your opponent doesn't have a lot of choices. They can either ignore them completely, which is easier said than done with them holding a zone, or they're likely going to be floating around at least power 12 half the time. Mm-hmm. And power 12 with Super Berserk can still mean quite a lot.
Yeah.
So here's the bastions. They are charging in on those warders over there. So
yep.
I think they all made it. A couple of them had to go through some rough terrain, but they all were able to at least make it. So
well, yeah, they were already very close in, so they didn't have a huge trip to go.
Yeah. The building's kind of obscuring it. How many bastions are left?
I think just the 2.
There's actually 3 over there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's just the 3 because I think the bouncer ended up taking out 2 of them. So
yeah.
And I think it was one of Rovin's company that actually went and took out the bouncer, which freed up the bastion so they could go in and charge. So
yeah, I mean they hit plenty hard, and I don't like seeing Rovin around, so I try to kill him every opportunity I get.
Yeah, that's another one where I didn't, his abilities could have came in handy this game, but I didn't really see him too much just because you didn't have stealth, so I didn't need to give anyone the ability to see through stealth. I guess removing one Fury maybe, but
yeah, and depending on when, if it wasn't my caster, you were probably doing me a favor.
Yeah, the only other thing I could have actually did with him now that I'm thinking about it is because you're moving Madrak over there was because I could have went with no spells with him, so you couldn't do spells over there. But
yeah, I remember you did it with the book to shut down a lot. Basically all that, because after that Carnage round, you got you really pushed with the book to make sure I couldn't keep doing that.
Yeah, I moved the book up to make sure you were once again in his range.
Do you have a plan for the bottom zone?
At this point, it is trying, sort of like my same plan. At this point, it is trying to get as many Weapon Master shots in on the Glacier King to try and take it out.
All right. Oh, yep. Here's where you clock the Skinner.
Yeah.
And
no damage, nothing.
Yeah, and the Skinner's now in stone range, so its armor was a little bit higher.
Yeah, so that errant Seneschal and the Skinner have now been just staring at each other for the past 2 rounds.
Yeah, locked in Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
Skinner doesn't engage in Mortal Kombat. The Skinner engages in I've got a knife.
Yeah.
Would you like to see the knife? Because he's got one, and he's really proud of it.
So yeah, we're just checking to make sure I have a charge target to the Glacier King around that Skinner, and we end up checking it here, and there is an actual charge.
Yep. Because
he went in. Oh yeah, he did go in there.
He went past it. Because even with the Skinner's power 8, he's Weapon Master and a free strike. You can't really risk that on something.
Yeah, I was just trying to see if
that
he actually charged the
Yep. And so here's the damage rolls, and it was a pretty healthy one. It takes a good chunk out of the Glacier King, and then obviously next dude comes in and hits, and that damage roll there just really put a huge hole in him, and of course that still hits. And then I think that was the first subpar one, but that still between the 3 of them removed about half of his health in their own.
Yeah, I did pretty good on him. I ended up, and here's Paladin charging in. So we got another fairly good Weapon Master here. Power 14,
the one lucky part about all that is the damage at least didn't hit the same column.
Yeah.
Even reliving that's horrible. The damage didn't hit the same column, so he was still able to go in without any big issues.
Yeah. Does he have any aspects out?
No. It was spread out amongst all the different columns.
Yeah.
That was the one thing. I think his spirit had 3 left in it. His mind was at 6. It was just the fact that those 4 models took my 18-point beast down to almost single digits, boxes.
Yeah.
Was not what I was expecting. Normally if you play by the raw math, which I know is not always the best idea, those bastions were rolling in at dice -7, I think it was.
So because they're 12 and
he was a 21 because of the stone.
He's 21, so they're -9. So
yeah, so you assume 14 on 4 dice, you're looking at about 5 points of damage a swing.
Yeah,
and so I figured I could probably suck up 20 points of damage and be okay. I just wasn't quite expecting the 40.
Yeesh.
Yeah, so Rupert's went and did heroic call on the bastions because he didn't really have any errands to do anything with. The book moved up behind the house there, and once again did no magic, no spells. That's what you're checking there to make sure Madrak was in, which definitely was.
Yeah, Yeah, so it's one of those things where, like, especially with Madrak, he has to play so close to the front, and he's got that little control area.
I think this is your attack with the Skinner.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Fear the Skinner.
Go.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything.
Crushes it.
I think you did a couple points, but nothing.
But still, at this point in the game, that Skinner has stopped at least one more model from really getting to the Glacier King, and almost stopped a second. So
yeah.
So here, the Glacier King decides he wants to, get a little more cozy. I tried to see if I can get range to bop the... I
think you were checking to see if you had range to the Seneschal, too, by moving over there, but...
Yep, I couldn't quite get there. So here's where I actually start exploiting the rules of the Glacier King a little bit, in the fact that I start punching Bastions. Knowing that they can spread out the damage, I punch one and leave it. Because it becomes stationary after each of those hits. And...
Oh, yeah, you just killed off the Paladin to start with there.
Oh, yeah, because I don't like Paladins. Not rules-wise, I just don't like seeing them around. Those Power 14 Weapon Masters are no joke.
Yeah. So you're going to knock down the Paladins?
Yeah, basically I'm going to punch the Bastions. If I do enough damage to kill them, if they fall down, they're just knocked down and stationary.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one I toughed, and you knocked him down stationary. Yeah.
So I keep going around punching the other ones. I missed a swing in there.
Yep.
So hit the next one, and it bears remembering, too, that we forgot about Awe again.
Yeah.
But... So, yeah, I basically looks like I'm up to 3 fear at that point in time, taking swipes at each of those Bastions to get the damage in there. And the more important thing to me was making them stationary, because it means that they can't attack me on the following round, which gives me that much more time to recover and push the advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at this point I'm down to just the 2 Bastions in that unit, because I toughed the one, the second one there you did like really no damage.
The damage
to.
was mediocre.
Yeah, and then the third one I just outright killed because you had done enough. So
yeah, I remember there was a beastly damage roll on him.
Yeah, he did pretty good.
So your clock just turned over to 20. Do you have any concerns with time at all?
At this point in time, I'd forgotten about the clock. So my strategy is ignore it until I win, and it's not a good one.
I think we did the same thing. I think I finally really looked at the clock when you got down into like the like single digits and stuff, and I was like, oh. Yeah, we got that clock still going there.
Yeah, and I think what actually caught my eye is when those second markers started ticking down faster. Yeah. Like the motion caught my eye. I was like, oh no. But I mean, on the plus side for me, most of my damage has been done.
Yeah.
The Glacier King is in strong contention of that south zone. The Bastions are not in a good spot to kill the Glacier King in response. So Jeremy will have to pull some extra force to get it gone. And that Bouncer had destroyed half of what's over there.
Yeah.
And I'm still left with a handful of warders and Madrak himself. He's no pushover even when he can't cast spells.
So up top, the Errants are all up there now. What's your plan up there?
Here's where I send in Horgle to do some damage. Because of the fact that he can sit there and get multiple swings in there. What he's doing here is he's killing the Bastions that are engaging the Pyre Troll.
Yeah.
So he goes in there and he cracks some skulls open with the hammer or the sword. I forget which. Probably doesn't matter. And that was just me checking to see if the stone was in range to give him the extra strength to do it. And Horgle does a pretty good job. I think he kills off both of the Bastions without too much of a problem.
Yeah, he does enough that instead of spreading the damage around, because they were pretty hurt already from
between the fire and the Bouncer.
Yeah, from the fire and the Bouncer, they're all pretty hurt up there anyway. So he does enough that they end up just taking them off the board because there's either I didn't have enough life to really spread it around at this point, or there was no point in it. So
and so at this point in time that the Pyre Troll is freed up and he actually wanders forward a little bit here, like that's me moving a Pyre Troll, I swear. And then he starts horking fire because that's what Pyre Trolls do.
And that's Gaius, or one of the honor guard for Rovan right there.
Yeah. But Rovan's been taken out by now?
No, Rovan is actually just out of the zone at the top, right sort of in front of the water.
I haven't played against Menoth in a long time. I don't have the hat radar I used to.
Yeah, so basically, this is us figuring out where like the fire is and what have you. Yep. Because I forget who I hit directly with it, but
you didn't. It actually it drifted, but then it drifted to the spot where it actually hit a couple people. I think so.
And I boosted the damage rolls because I wanted.
Oh, because you hit the book with that one. So
yep. I know I couldn't do more than one damage, but I wanted to guarantee that point.
And it's on fire, so.
Yep. Because that book is, every time I see it with Trollbloods, it's my most hated model.
Just like I typically go and hate your stones.
Yeah. Now, whenever I'm playing against trolls, that stone is the first thing to go.
Yep. Yeah, it's a priority target to say the least.
If you can get to it, that's the thing. Like, I didn't have a lot of shooting in here to be able to get to it other than the errants, but they were tied up fairly quickly in the second round. So,
and that house gives it a really nice hiding place.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the stone wasn't a good spot to not get into too much trouble at this point in time. But yeah, here's where I'm just doing to try to clear stuff up. That the sorcerer's going in for some damage. And it's actually,
I think he actually does some damage.
Yeah, he
here.
kills the dude. Like the sorcerer actually gets a lot of work done this game, which actually made me doubly pissed because this is like the first time I ever would have gotten to use his battle wizard ability, and he can't because the book is there, and he had 2 opportunities to try and get it done.
Oh yeah, that's right. You spent a lot of the game complaining about the book, shutting him down.
So Madrak rolls up in here, and at this point in time, he's actually throwing his axe. Yeah, so that's me checking line of sight to throw it at, I think, the paladin back there?
No, that would have been Gaius or one of the honor guard.
Yeah, it was somebody who had a name attached to him, so he wanted to catch an axe.
Yeah. I think that was the one that actually came in and taken out the bouncer. So. Yep,
so that's me hitting with the axe, and then at this point in time, it's power 16 because the Krellstone's up on it, and
so
it's...
dice even at that point.
Yeah.
Because they're not battle-driven right now, so...
Yeah, and so I believe this would be debating if I want to boost because I tend to wuss out a lot and try to make certain things get done in bad spots. So like that was me addressing my paranoia there. I'm certain that 5 was from the boost, and then that was me checking to see if you were in melee because I'm throwing my axe at the bastion.
Yep.
Because of Snapfire, which doesn't come up very often.
So my whole plan up there with having, the bastions and the errants and thinking I could go and clear that zone has sort of taken a little bit of a twist here on me. It did not really go my way after the bouncer sort of took out half the guys I thought I was going to have up there.
Yeah, and so, that's the axe killing off. I think that's the last bastion you had.
Yeah, up there I think it was. I'm pretty sure that was.
Yeah, and so like there's not much behind the house right now except a wounded pirate troll Madrak.
Yeah, and I have a couple. I have 1 or 2 errants left over there yet, and I have the paladin, and I also have one of the other honor guard too left. So,
is Madrak in the zone?
Yes.
Okay.
He obviously isn't claiming because there's still things in there this round.
Yeah.
But he is in that zone. It's hard to tell, but on the other side of the house, there's not a lot of space between the house and the zone.
Okay.
So, for the most part, things on the other side of the house are almost in the zone to begin with.
Do you have a plan on getting rid of those last 2 models contesting?
Not this round, unfortunately. Okay. I don't have anything else I can do. Most of what's over there has already been activated. I'm kind of resting on my laurels going, okay, there's a handful of warders in there. There's a pirate troll, Madrak, and Horgel. And I think the only stuff you had left over there was a couple of errants, like Rovan himself and
the paladin, and stuff. Yeah, I didn't have much left over there, and
that paladin was getting hurt awfully bad by that difficult terrain.
Well, and Jeff had pointed out that you have magic weapons over there, so doing the impervious wall was not really worth it for the paladin anymore, just because Madrak could still hit him and stuff. So
right.
So what's your plan for the round?
I was a little bit shocked that I lost so many people up top there, so I started going to just thinking what I can do here at this point. Like, I really want to get rid of that Glacier King at this point. I think I still have enough over there to do that.
Well, I remember you were taking a little surprise, too, when you realized that you couldn't actually activate those bastions, because of the stationary on them.
Yeah, well, the one that was knocked down and stationary, I couldn't. The other one you had missed, so...
No, I hit all 3 throughout the round.
Oh, yeah, you hit, but you didn't damage, so...
Right, so he was still stationary, but, yeah.
I mean, I still felt pretty good because this is the Bastion Seneschal moving up to try and take care of whatever.
That's one of the Stone Scribes.
Yeah, the Stone Scribe
I moved the Stone Scribe up there because late game, those Stone Scribes get some stuff done.
So, yeah, at this point, I think I could potentially... Like, I'm trying to clear out this bottom zone here because I got Harvey right there, so I can get in and, get 2 if I can clear it out.
Yeah.
So if I could get up 2-0 on him at this turn, I was feeling pretty good. But
yeah, because I remember what you are. We at the point with Harvey? Is it Harvey's activation? Because I remember what she did, and I wasn't happy about it.
Now I'm just really excited to see this.
Yeah. So right here is where we're explaining about how the bastions aren't actually going to get to do much because of the stationary on them.
Yeah.
Because I feed off of crushed dreams,
Yeah.
Yeah. So now Jeremy's forming a plan.
This is
a paladin moving in, I think.
Yep. Dartman moving in. Who I was expecting to do a lot more since he's POW 15 Weapon Master. I was really expecting him to take care of business here.
Yeah,
and then he rolls fairly low, but
yeah. And at this point in time, I think the Glacier King is on hindquarters, so to speak.
Yeah, there's not much left.
I forget if that swing had actually killed a box or not, or a aspect or not. But in my head, I'm thinking, well, if the Glacier King can survive, awesome, because now I can eat 3 bastions.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, I've got whelps to contest with. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of getting low on model count at this point, too. Like, I've lost most of the errants. I've lost a whole unit of bastions up there. And, 3/5 of this unit of bastions down here. So it's really at this point, I'm like, well, what can I actually get done here? Because I got a lot of stuff to take care of, a lot of heavy stuff to take care of, but not running out of models. So I'm trying to get as many attacks on the bigger stuff as possible. And
kills the Stone Scribe.
Yeah. I was hoping the Bastion Seneschal would take care of that so I could have Rupert attack someone else. You just were doing a lot of killing in my dreams by toughing with specific people that I just did not want to have happen.
Well, I mean, that was probably my favorite part of the whole game was just that one
Skinner. Yeah.
That last surviving Skinner who walked through the feet survives almost till the end of the game through hell and high water.
So here's Harvey throwing a Cataclysm at the Glacier King and then boosting.
Yep, and that's pretty hefty damage. And I think it doesn't quite kill him.
No, I got to throw another one at him.
Yeah. But, I mean, the Harbinger's pretty safe back there. I've got no real offense left in that side of the table. Yeah, and I think that finishes
I think
to the
that
box.
did him to the point, yeah.
Yep.
How far away were you for the Cataclysm?
I think I was either 3 or 4 away, so it was either a POW 16 or a POW 17.
They were heavy enough, but with that stone aura boosting that guy's armor, it still makes it rough.
Yeah, and I was spending the extra to actually boost the damage on it too, so.
Yeah. But like I said, I've got nothing to really retort with over there. Like maybe the Impaler can get a shot in at the Harbinger, but none of those scribes are going to do anything. Obviously, the whelps don't have weapons, and Madrak's on the other side of the house, so Harvey's pretty safe over there. The side effect being is that her realm of influence is stuck on that side of the board too.
Yeah.
And just like last round where Jeremy had a couple of guys contesting that zone, I've just got enough little dudes stuck in there to stop Harvey from claiming it either.
Yeah, so this one over here, I'm just looking to see what I have charged, targets to and what I can. So, I have the one errant going in charge.
I think that's a warder.
I think it's a warder.
You either went after the warder or the sorcerer.
I think I went after the warder for that one, and the other one up top went after the sorcerer warder too. Either way.
Yeah, we'll see if I pick up metal or plastic. Yeah, so basically just trying to get some damage in there, and I'm assuming keep things away from that last paladin. So you can
and then
keep
you tough that warder up there.
Oh, yep.
How are you doing on toughs this game?
I'd say a little bit better than average. It's really hard for me to keep track of it in a list this small because there's not a lot of models that actually have tough. Because it's this list, it's the warders, the Krellstone, the Skinners, and that's about it. Yeah. And so at this point in time, I think I've passed 2 tough checks. It was the Skinner one. It was the Skinner one, the Warder one.
And that Stone Scribe.
Oh, and the Stone Scribe.
Yeah, so you've passed 3 out of 4, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, so I'm doing pretty good on them. Not to the point where like, oh my god, what's happening?
Yeah,
but
right. You haven't had to make enough tough checks that I was like, would you just stop it? But you were making them when it mattered.
You're not in the last Boomhauler territory yet.
No. Like the Skinner actually survived the handful of rounds due to bad dice on Jeremy's part rather than tough.
Yeah.
Like 2 times the Skinner actually got hit and didn't take damage.
So
what's the paladin?
That was the paladin charging in at the pirate troll, and I was just checking to verify that he could get in there by also missing the rough terrain, so he didn't lose any of that.
Yep, and you basically take that pirate troll down to.
I left him at 1 box.
Yeah,
I left the pirate troll at 1 box, and it comes back to bite me pretty heavily because I just needed to take that extra one, and then I would have had some extra guys that would have survived up there for a couple, at least one more round.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what's your plan for this turn?
My plan for this turn is at this point I realize that my clock is terrible, so my plan is to remove what I can from the zone and start to dominate. So the book at this point in time I think had taken 3 points of damage, or maybe it was 2.
It had taken 1. It lit on fire didn't go out on it, so it was 2. So
yeah, it had taken 2, and so I had to kill the stuff that was engaging my guys so I could get to the book. So that's the last warder at work there.
Yeah. The clock is
1 of 2.
The clock is much more stressful at old timey newsreel speed.
Yeah, yeah. So this is me just sinking every point of damage I can to get the book gone.
And is the paladin you charge the pirate troll? Is that also in the zone?
Yeah. Everything over there is in the zone. So
this is Horgel zipping by because there's.
Well, I think maybe the pirate troll had actually killed the paladin because I had removed a model that was behind the house there. So
no, that was Madrak.
Oh, Madrak.
Madrak moved up and just went straight axe to face.
Yep, that's right.
He killed off the paladin, and he killed off the last errant, I think. Or no, the last non-flag carrying errant.
Yeah.
So that left room for Horgel to go through, and since he can actually buy more attacks, he was able to finish off the book.
Yep.
Yeah. So at this point in time, I'm now dominating the zone.
And I just realized, actually watching this, that I made a mistake last time because I didn't actually move Roven. So I could have had him in the zone at some point.
Yeah, I realized after the game, too, I made a mistake, too, that I never activated the pirate troll that round. It just sat there going, I'm a pirate troll, yo.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I just realized now watching this that I never actually activated Roven last time, and he could have been standing in the zone over somewhere, so would have at least potentially contested this time. So, but
yeah, and so here's delay tactic is basically putting the whelps in the way just enough so that he can't wipe everything out in that area easy.
Yeah,
because I can keep the stone pretty far back in there and. Killing the Impaler. The Impaler was scratched a little bit, but barely hurt.
Yeah.
So I had to make him work for it.
Yeah.
But it's mostly knowing that, like, if he wants to go and start stopping me from contesting or from claiming victory points in the upper zone, he has to bolt.
Yeah. So you also scored two points.
Yeah. So I scored 2 points this round, and that was basically it.
Yeah.
But like I know my clock is at the 11th hour. So.
Yeah. So I got, one person over there is Roven, and I like immediately just move him. So
yeah, get him as far away across the train as you can.
Yeah, just to try and contest.
Do you have any plans other than that? Moving anything from the bottom zone to the top zone?
That was really what it was to do this turn, was to get one person up there to contest. At this point, I was really trying to just clear this zone so I could actually start scoring. Also. Yeah. That's where I sort of lost all thoughts, like because everyone here is also sort of engaged too, so it's not like I could move anyone without them taking free strikes without having to do some other stuff. But you would see there that I think the Seneschal, the errant Seneschal, like rolled double ones to miss the Skinner again. Yeah. So
yeah, the Skinner didn't survive in his own accolades.
So yeah, I think I've taken one model out that you went and moved in there, and now the Devout's going in there with his pole arm to go and take that Skinner.
How hard is it to kill the whelps?
Oh, they're chump change. They're defense 12, armor 11, I think. Yeah. The only thing that can keep them alive is they've got the annoyance rule, so living models have a penalty to attack. But those are bastions. Yeah. The whelps are, like I said, the only reason the whelps are standing there is to stop those bastions from pushing further into my turf.
Yeah, no, I was wondering. I figured the whelps might be like defense 14 or something.
Nope. They are stupendously easy to kill.
Yeah.
The reason they're in this list is to control the otherwise uncontrollable Glacier King.
Yeah. So what we just saw there was Rupert actually took a guy out to free up the Bastion Seneschal. But before that, we saw that the Devout, who should have killed that Skinner, the Skinner Tuft.
Yep. So at this point in time, I am up my tough checks.
Does the Skinner make it all the way through the game?
No.
Oh.
No, unfortunately.
But the fact that the Skinner was on the front line since basically top of turn 2.
Well, he was up there like turn 1. Or, turn 2 he moved up there.
Turn 2 is when he took the feet to the face.
Yeah.
And that he survived this far into the game is like...
That's because those two have just been sitting there staring at each other the whole time.
Yeah. Like
he's a champion.
The internet still hates the Skinner for everything he does, but it's got a very unique place in this list, and it's not to do damage.
Yeah.
It is, for 2 points, he is deceptively hard to kill.
Yeah, so what should be left here in the zone really should just be that Impaler. But instead, one Bastion missed one of the whelps, and then I missed the Skinner once, and then he toughed the second time. So he's being annoying by still being in there.
Yeah.
And here's Harvey throwing a Cataclysm at that Impaler.
Yeah, that was the best way to get the damage in there, because you can't necessarily leave the beast too healthy or it'll...
Yep, and I'm throwing another one and boosting damage.
Yeah.
At this point, I think I'm rolling 14s, I think, is what it's coming in at. Because I think I'm like 6 inches away. But
and there goes the Impaler.
Yeah.
Harvey got a lot of Cataclysm work done this game.
Yep.
Yeah, so unfortunately I don't score 2 because I couldn't get those 2 models, those 2 lonely models out of the zone.
Yep, and so this is just more quick jam. Madrak rolls in here, throws the axe, boosts the effect, gets it, boosts the damage because I want it dead.
Yep.
And then at that point in time, I think I just stopped my...
You just moved everyone really quick and just did him and cleared the zone to go up 4-0 at this point. We get to the point here where I know I'm not going to be able to... Basically, I need to get something over there. I was looking at to seeing if I could get anything over there to actually contest.
This was auto lose turf where if you can't do something in the zone, then
it was.
Yeah. Do you have a plan for doing that?
I think I checked, and Rupert was close enough that I believe I ran Rupert over there to actually contest the zone.
Yep, you had enough room to run a Rupert in and stop the lose on your turn.
Yeah.
Because I knew the Bastions didn't have it in them.
Yeah. Those would have had to get rocket jets from somewhere to actually be able to. And the Seneschal did not do enough to kill that scribe or whatever that guy is.
No, he toughed.
Oh, he toughed.
So at this point in time, yes, my tough rolls have been unfair, but I don't think that was a determining factor in the game.
No, that was definitely not. I mean, this is... Oh, let's see here. Can the Seneschal actually kill him this time? No. No.
Yep, and then they're gone.
There he goes. Finally.
But
down goes a hero.
For a single Skinner, that's impressive. Yeah. And I knew he wasn't.
Vilmont had to go in there and take care of business. That's how bad it was.
Skinner was going to go home with a name and everything.
Yep.
And so now basically you've got 2 whelps to remove, and you own the zone.
Yep.
And like I said, whelps are chump change to kill.
Yeah.
So
at least now I can, but it's more of I need to get her over, so still dominate my zone. But see, at this point, it's like Rupert's not going to survive.
Yep.
I'm throwing Cataclysms here.
Yep, just throwing Cataclysms straight at Madrak.
And I think I was 12 inches away, so I think these are POW 8s or something like that.
I remember distinctly they were POW 8s. And I'd already taken a handful of damage between doing a little bit of self-cutting and then walking into the feet. So, I mean, there's just auto hits.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, dice off 8 isn't pleasant.
Right.
But
how many transfers do you have?
I don't think you were sitting on any at that point.
I didn't have any beasts left alive.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the Pirate Troll at this point in time is alive, but, Yeah,
he'd be on Horrigal.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Oh, yeah, so you took the first one, and then the second one I did, and then you just
I used the scroll.
The scroll just took it. So at this point, if Rupert dies, game's over, because I can't. I have no one up there to contest anymore. So.
Yeah, and so this is just Madrak rolls back and goes, I'm tired of this, and axe time.
Yeah.
Woo.
And then, because last turn, boost it, and that's that.
Yeah. That's like the one thing I really wish Chromac 2 had. If he could throw that axe, that'd be great.
Not appropriate.
Oh, that's I didn't even roll his tough check there.
Oh, we're gonna stop. Oh no, I think I crit Grievous, didn't I?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, it was.
Well, I also had Horgle to do it. I had a Pirate Troll that was missing its mind to do it.
I would have needed to roll like 5 tough checks to survive.
It would have been a little rough.
But yeah, I mean, overall, it went really well. I just each one of us, I think, had a couple tough rounds, but as we can see, like neither side had much left. This came down to the very end.
Yeah, and then like the big swing points were obviously the fact that one bouncer was able to just destroy a good. I don't want to say a third of the force over there, but.
It took at least half that force out, the hitting power of it, because even though it didn't take all the bastions out, it severely wounded the bastions to the point where next turn you were able to go up there and take care of them. So
yeah, and then the flip side too being that when that Glacier King took those beefy damage rolls, it fell fast.
Yeah.
So
how much of a difference do you think using Martyr and Awe would have had?
Well, considering the fact that I never once used Martyr, so Harvey's completely sitting here unharmed this whole game, and I think Awe would have definitely helped because I think some of those hits against the Bastions would have missed and stuff from the Glacier King.
Awe would have been a bigger turner. The Martyr, about half the game, she was too far away from the things you would have wanted to Martyr in the opposite zone.
On the opposite zone, but the zone where the Glacier King was, I think it would have definitely helped quite a bit. But yeah, I think. Needless to say, I played a second game with Harvey here just this past week, and she sat at 1 or 2 health at the end of my opponent's turn most rounds, and then would heal back up to 8 or 9 on my turn. So,
but yeah, to kind of recap what we had here, it was rough. I waltzed into the feet in some spots I shouldn't have, but it came down to just a very intense Madrak Pac-Man feat, without a lot of Pac-Man movement.
Yeah. No, I think all my games against Jeff have sort of gone the same way, where it's just been down to the very end.
Yeah, we're very well matched. They're never like a decimating win. It's more of a like, oh, this is a problem now, and that's the last little straw.
Yep. Well, thanks everyone for watching and listening. It was, as you can see, it was a fun match. It was very fun.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's always fun playing Jeremy. So
yeah, it was fun to watch.
Good. Thanks, everyone.